We now go to Hilary Benn.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's a great pleasure to follow the honourable gentleman. Well, here we are again debating a Lord's amendment to protect leaseholders from having to pay to fix construction defects and unsafe cladding, which never were and never should be their responsibility. And yet ministers continue to resist, even though they have repeatedly said that leaseholders shouldn't have to bear the cost. And the trouble with this endless debate is that the clock is ticking, and innocent leaseholders continue to face unreasonable costs as bills now start to arrive demanding sums of money that they simply do not possess. One constituent wrote to me last week enclosing a photograph of the bill he's just been sent for £27,000. Another thinks their bill will be £40,000. They obviously can't remortgage their flats. So I asked the minister, what are people in this situation meant to do? Now, sadly, we know that the government doesn't have an answer to this, or indeed to the mental and emotional torment that they're being put through. And that is why this amendment is needed, and needed now. Even taking account of the government funding already announced, the Leasehold Knowledge Partnership estimates that about 2/3 of the total cost is still going to fall on leaseholders, the very people the government says shouldn't pay. The Association of Residential Managing Agents estimates that the average remediation bill will be around £50,000 a flat, and that insurance costs have risen by 400%. The government estimates that the average cost of a waking watch outside London is over £2,100 a year for each flat. Leaseholders in shared ownership properties are in a particular bind. The Building Safety Fund is moving too slowly. There's a shortage of companies who can or will do the work. And there's total uncertainty as to what is meant to happen when we know that there are other works that have to be done to make buildings safe, but for which the government is not prepared so far to offer funding. Now, I find it very hard to believe that ministers don't understand that the remedy they have come forward with so far is patently insufficient, or that they don't get that without a comprehensive plan, leaseholders will, month by month and year by year, inevitably face financial collapse because of the huge burden of costs being put on their shoulders. So in conclusion, Madam Deputy Speaker, can I assure the Minister that the growing number of MPs who support the Lord's Amendment aren't going anywhere? And that's because our constituents have nowhere else to go. Thank you.
We now go